morning, it's Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the daily crypto tech review of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin and Ripple's XRP. We're looking at the MACDs, the moving averages and the day's support, resistance and pivot levels. It is Tuesday, the 17th of November. Jumping straight into Bitcoin against the US dollar, bullish start to the morning here. Going to see Bitcoin avoid the pivot at 16,488 to take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 17,103. Going to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin's break through to 17,000 levels, however. So barring an extended rally through the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of another breakout, got the second major resistance level at 17,486 and resistance at 17,500 to pin Bitcoin back. A fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 16,105 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, Bitcoin should steer well clear of sub 16,000 levels. Second major support level sits at 15,490. Looking at the MACD, we're seeing a narrowing of the bullish histogram and a possible formation of a bearish cross there, so keep an eye on that through the morning. On the EMAs, however, the 50 has pulled away marginally from the 100 and the 200, supporting the early upside. So keep through the early part of the day, avoid a fall through to sub 16,500 levels in that pivot level and break out from yesterday's high and through to 17,000 levels to bring resistance levels into play. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, bullish start to the morning here. Going to see Ethereum avoid fall through the pivot of 457.66 to take a run at the first major resistance level at 469.40. Going to need to see continued support from the broader market for Ethereum to break through to 468 levels, however. So barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level and resistance at 470 to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, should see Ethereum test resistance at 480 before any pullback. Second major resistance level sits at 477.96. A fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 449.10 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, should see Ethereum still well clear of sub 440s. Second major support level sits at 437.36. Looking at the MACD, a widening of the bullish histogram early this morning, supporting this early upside. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 narrow on the 100, suggestive of a possible bullish cross, so keep an eye on that as well. Bullish cross there, and you've got 480s in play later in the day. So keep through the early morning, avoid the pivot, break through to 468 levels to then bring the first major resistance level and 470s into play. Moving across to Litecoin against the US dollar, particularly bullish start to the morning after yesterday's surge. Going to need to see Litecoin avoid the pivot at 70.21 to take a run at the first major resistance level, so it's sitting at 78.27. Going to see support from the broader market for Litecoin to break through to 78 levels, however. Barring extended rally on the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of an extended rally, could see Litecoin test resistance at 90 before any pullback. The second major resistance level sits at 82.70. The fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 65.78 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, should see Litecoin still well clear of sub 60s. Second major support level sits at 57.72. On the MACDs, we saw Litecoin avoid a bearish late yesterday and a widening of the bullish histogram this morning, supporting the early upside. The 50 EMA is also pulling away from the 100 and the 200, suggests a further upside through the day ahead. So avoiding the pivot level and breaking through to 78 would bring the first major resistance level and 80s into play on the day. Finally, looking at Ripple's XRP against the US dollar, also bullish this morning. Going to need to see Ripple's XRP avoid the pivot at 0.2819. Take a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 0.2962. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ripple's XRP to break through to 0.295 levels, however. So barring an extended rally through the day, expect that first major resistance level to cap any upside. In the event of a breakout, got the second major resistance level at 0.3041 to limit any upside on the day. Fall through the pivot will bring the first major support level sitting at 0.2739 into play. Barring an extended sell-off on the day, should see Ripple's XRP avoid sub 0.27s. Second major support level sits at 0.2597. Looking at the MACD, seeing a widening of the bullish histogram this morning, supporting the early upside. and we're seeing the 50 EMA pull away from the 100 and the 200, suggestive of further upside through the day. So avoiding the pivot at 0.2819 and breaking through to 0.295 levels would bring the first major resistance level and 0.3 levels into play.